Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight, brought to you by the Georgetown NAACP Branch number 5520. We've got a lot to talk about today, so we'll just get right on it and bring on my co-host right after this opening.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to put a hand of protection.
So we're back, folks. Let me go ahead and bring in my co-host. We have a lot to talk about. And let's start with our first Vice President, Deontay Winchester. Good afternoon, Deontay.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Fine. I feel like I'm sliding right in. Like I'm just like, so it's all good. I'm blessed to be here. It's fortunate to be here. Good to see you. Let's go ahead and bring in our third Vice President, Ebony Hughes. There's a lot going on today, Ebony. I love your background.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Small Business Saturday.
Yeah, and then of course our president, Mr. Marvin Neal. Hello, Marvin.
Hey, what's going on, Marilyn? What's up, Deontay and Ebony? There's a lot going on today. I heard.
Yeah, Marvin and I just came back from a funeral. That's why both of us are kind of just running into this from the funeral of Mr. Sam Ragg. He was the former president of the United Steelworkers Union, also president of SOAR in South Carolina, which is the retired Steelworkers Union, and huge political figure in Georgetown. Worked with People United for Progress, PUP, back in the late 1970s, 80s. And that's how we got single member districts in Georgetown, because they sued the county, and the county, they mediated to a election where they voted. The county voted for single member districts. And he was just a huge force in politics, a huge force in the community, and in particular, Sampit. President of numerous organizations, the Sampit Community Association, and Representative Jim Clyburn, very close friend, came to the funeral and said some very moving personal words. It was just, and Sam had, I think I counted 118 grandchildren, great-grand, and great-great-grand, or 128, 118,
Wow.
something like that, but it was over 100.
Yeah. I think he got more cousins than I do, Ebony.
So, but it was just a very touching funeral, and we're going to miss Sam. He's been kind of retired for a while from the politics because of ill health, but he is someone that will be sorely missed on a community basis, and also personally for me. He's definitely one of my political mentors, and just, this was a moving one. This was a hard one, but we certainly express our condolences to his family and celebrate his life. But before, as we move on, and Ebony's going to have to go because there's a lot going on today, y'all. It is Small Business Saturday. We are in the holiday season now, and that Saturday after Thanksgiving is Small Business Saturday, where we celebrate our local businesses, our small businesses and micro businesses who are out here doing the thing. And so, Ebony, what's going on with you? Because you are a small business owner. You're a member of the Gullah-Geechee Chamber of Commerce, and you had a grand opening ribbon cutting this week also.
Yes, and I'm so thankful. Just had a ribbon cutting ceremony for Gullah Tours and Experiences, which is a tour company, and we have a gift shop that has Gullah vendors that have created all different types of things in here that we're going to be showcasing today in an event here, an online event. If you are in the Georgetown area, please stop by and support this small business. Not only a small business, it's a Gullah-owned business, and it's a woman-owned business. And we're supporting other Gullah creators that are doing their thing. So if you are not in the area, this is why we're having a small business Saturday online event. So if you're not in the area, we will be going around showcasing all the different things that in the store, and you can even purchase gift certificates if you're not here online, and go ahead and get what you need to support the business. So look forward to that. Visit us on Facebook at Gullah Tours and Experiences, or you can just put at Explore Gullah, and you can tune in on our live event that starts at 2:00 online to see all of the things here and purchase them online. So
and the nice thing about this, and why I love supporting small businesses, obviously I started a chamber to support small businesses, is in Gullah Tours and Experiences, in the gift shop, most of the items are handcrafted. These are local folks who they may have learned from their parents or grandparents, or just took up the creative process themselves and created beautiful work, beautiful jewelry, organic teas, that they're actually growing the herbs themselves, the scarves, not this one.
Books.
I gotta go come get a scarf, but
yep.
But they're handcrafted items, Ebony. So I just think that's wonderful. And we need to support the creators.
Yep, absolutely. So that's what you can do today, is support those small Gullah-owned business vendors in this area. So thank you so much, Marilyn, for all you do in helping promote not only small businesses, but the Gullah businesses here, because we do realize that it's something that needs to be protected.
Yeah, if we support our businesses, we actually support the culture and keep the culture alive. And Deontay and Marvin, this is just a good time for both of you to go and look for gifts for your wives, daughters, and sons and loved ones. So that's a big hint. That wasn't even a hint. That was like, y'all need to go down there and buy some gifts, unique gifts, authentic handcrafted gifts that will not be found anyplace else. And let me tell you something, we appreciate those type of gifts.
Oh, it's nice there, Marilyn. I've been in there. It's nice. They didn't have something I was looking for. Hopefully I might find it today. And Ebony know what I'm talking about. But speaking of the Gullah Tour, Marilyn, Jackie is doing a tea tasting at Hasty Point within the month of December here. We'll talk about that on our next show and stuff, she did a great job, especially at the tour of Flannelsville. They had a lot of the Gullah small businesses there, it's just a great opportunity now for small Black businesses and stuff, mainly Black businesses. That's one of my biggest support. So I could go and have my kumbaya moments and stuff, and reach back and look back, and so Deontay catch up on these things that he been missing out for the last 37 years and stuff, while he's sitting down in Gullah, Charleston, that he thinks is such a big city and stuff.
Georgetown has something to say. And I just want to say what I tell my members of my chamber and those who participate in our entrepreneurship course, that you are a Black-owned business. So you're not a Black business. A Black-owned business, you sell to everyone. So those of you think, oh, I'm not Gullah, hey, come. What they sell is for everyone. It's a celebration of the culture, but they sell to everyone. So if you're not Gullah, you still need to come and support these local small businesses. All right. Anything else? Anything you want to share with us, Deontay, as we move on to the next topic?
Well, definitely support if you can. It's beautiful in there. I was in there shortly before the opening, and I actually saw a pink and green scarf that I might pick up for my favorite AKA. So yeah, check it out if you can.
Oh,
beautiful
thank
thing.
you, Deontay.
You're my second favorite.
Let me stop before your wife get mad at me. I can't get my sorrow mad at me. Very good. So
no, but let me say this though, and I know we got to move on. But one thing that I noticed about our community, when we do take the time to support each other, for whatever reason, we like to think that we shouldn't pay the asking price. Black-owned business don't mean cheap business. You pay what you asked to pay. All right? Ain't no hookup, none of that. Pay what you're supposed to pay, man. It just I
Right?
don't get
Come
I
on
don't get
now.
that. When we go to the shop with other people, we don't ask them to lower their prices. So why do we do that to each other?
That is so true,
So
Deontay.
true.
And I stress that all the time, man. Let's pay for our own. It's all right. And the quality of the products is so good and genuine. It lasts a lifetime, man. It's like quilts. You know, we'll look at it and walk by it every day, but someone will walk in and pay $1,000 just for a quilt.
Yeah.
Because I'm a quilt collector, and man, I tell you, you can't beat it, man. It tells a story. Every quilt tells a story, you know. Because all my cousins got quilts and stuff, and I know Ebony gonna laugh at that. I got plenty of cousins and stuff, so.
Mr. Neal, I don't know a person who you are not related to. I don't think I've met a person that you are not related to.
I'm trying
Seriously.
to tell you.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. But you know what? We laugh and joke about it, but seriously, if you start doing some genetic testing, it's probably true that most of us in this area are related. When you start digging back, look at the different skin tones of the Black folks in this area. Look at the history of who came into this area. It was a couple of years ago, I was actually down at the Georgetown Library online looking at some receipts of purchase. So when you start thinking about these last names and this, that, and the third, it's something else. We are related for real.
Now you got a lot of cousins.
We got a lot of cousins. Cousins here, cousins in the Caribbean, cousins down in the South, Louisiana, Jamaica. Come on now.
Lots of family.
Yes.
Speaking of
Thank
family, we're going to get to affordable housing because we did something big. We did the thing this week. But before we get to affordable housing, predatory lending and SNAP information at Bethel Homecoming by the NAACP on Sunday at 12 noon. I'm assuming it's this Sunday, y'all. I have not been involved in that project. So who's going to share the details with us?
Well, so predatory lending, yes. Bethel is having their homecoming tomorrow. Church starts at 11. Come to church. Come as you are. Don't feel like you need to dress up. Just come on out. But if you want to come out to the predatory lending and SNAP workshop, it is actually directly right after church. Just come on in the back. We're going to have food. We're going to give you some food and some information about predatory lending, how not to get caught up in it. If you are caught up in it, things that you can do to try to help yourself get out of that situation, as well as information on how you can apply for SNAP or EBT. It's actually needed. And one of the travesties that I see with EBT is that, and especially for our senior citizens, they literally have billions of dollars to help people with that, but you have to apply. Please apply for the assistance. Even if you applied for it in the past and you didn't get it, they change regulations in order so that more people are eligible to get it. Please get it. And if you come, you'll learn information about if you yourself are growing or selling food items, fresh food items, how you yourself can benefit from being a business owner. Talking about Small Business Saturdays, if you are a business owner, a sole proprietor, you can even take a couple of classes and learn about how you can receive EBT funding for the food that you offer. So Mr. Neal, you may even have something to add on to that, because Dr. Betty Clark is a huge advocate for the community. She's a pastor, but she believes in serving.
Yeah, Ebony, you said it. You said she really believes in serving and stuff, and any opportunities there. But on another note, we also we're going to serve a nice dinner and stuff for them to take home with. It's going to be a box lunch. You can take it with you. And the information is, I tell you, you can't beat it. And it's a program that's pretty much sponsored by the NAACP and the United Way and the 7 Dimensions. So it's a lot going on. There's a lot of information, but Georgetown have had its share of information and support, to the community from the NAACP, United Way, 7 Dimension, Gullah Geechee Chamber, wise solution. We just do our work and stuff, and it serves this age right now that we in. So people are not taking it short. We serve what, over 400 now, Ebony, just in housing assistance, United Way, and SC Stay.
That's correct. That's correct. More than
Yeah.
so many services. And we're proud of that.
Very much so. Very much.
We're in a situation where our local and local governments and things, they're doing the best they can, I guess. But then it's going to take community community work, advocacy, the NAACP, churches. It takes you, it takes me, it takes all of us to pull this thing together, because we can't wait on the government to do it. We have to help our people.
Yeah, and the government is only when you look at the government, pretty much most of the time it's just a hand down. We need a hand up, and we could do that for ourselves. Because we have it within us. We built Georgetown, we built America, we save America. So what can't we do for each other is the question and stuff. And the answer is we could do everything for each other. We just got to support each other and not get in the way, but hey, get in line. Move this train forward.
Yep.
So
we want you to come out tomorrow, y'all, at Bethel. It's on Duke Street, Broad and Duke. I forgot the address. Please come out tomorrow.
412 Broad.
11:30.
I just remembered when you said that, it just popped in my head. 412 Broad Street.
You should know, Maryland.
It is Duke and Broad. I still got some sweet potatoes, and Reverend Clark wanted me to bring them out, so I'm gonna bring them out, y'all.
Bring it out.
So if y'all want some sweet potatoes, we got some after the hurricane. If the supplements your pantry, come on out. We'll even have some bags of sweet potatoes for you, also ready for you.
Hey, the more the merrier.
Bring it.
Yeah. So I'll bring those out too, and folks can take those with them. So thank you for the predatory lending information. And I want to remind everyone, we have in the city of Georgetown a special election coming up on December 27th. And this is important because it's 2 days after Christmas. So let's just be honest. Most people in your mind, you're not thinking elections. You're not thinking elections. This is why it's important that we're talking about it now. In the city of Georgetown, it's a city council special election. We had a member of city council resign to take a job with the city, Al Joseph, which opened up a seat on city council. And there are 2 folks running for that position. And it is very important that you get registered to vote, and then you exercise your right to vote. There's still early voting, 15 days before, but December 27th is the actual election day. But folks, if you're home, if it's actually good for college students, if you're home for Christmas and you're registered to vote in Georgetown, in the city, you can actually go vote. Take advantage of the holiday, take advantage of the fact that you're home, and go vote on Tuesday, December 27th. And that's important to note, because Christmas, we're not thinking elections, but we're going to remind you from today until December 27th to please go out and vote in the city of Georgetown city council elections. Any thoughts regarding the elections, folks, and the importance of voting?
Well, for one, vote early, because y'all know coming the 27th is probably maybe out of the question, especially if you're traveling to go visit family members. The 27th is going to be kind of a little crazy. Vote early. That way you know that your vote is already in there. Number 2, even if you're watching this show and you don't live in the city of Georgetown, contact your folks that live in the city. Make sure to remind them to vote. The other thing is be mindful of who you vote for. Be very mindful. Investigate these individuals before you cast your ballot. It's not a popularity contest. Vote for really who's going to be doing the right thing, because I have yet to see anyone talk about Hurricane Ian. People are still hurting from that hurricane, and now we have just been declared a disaster area. So if you are a business owner, if you are an individual and you were affected, please go on to the FEMA website to apply for assistance, number 1. But if you are self-employed or own a business, go to the unemployment commission, the Employment Commission of South Carolina. And also you can get more money if you can show that you're self-employed or own a business. And they give you, I think, up to like $500 a week just for Hurricane Ian. So that's some additional funds there. But anyway, back to the election. Just be careful. That is a tricky situation. Why would they put it that date? I don't know.
Well, one thing we could talk about, Emily, definitely is we have to get the black votes out and make sure they understand that they vote count and it matters, and every vote count. Because you have a lot of things that the city have really contributed to really it's almost another pandemic when it comes down to electrical bills going up and stuff of this nature. So we need someone to go in and really look into this situation, quit blaming Santee Cooper and these other places, because the bill comes from the city electric, same one that comes to Santee Electric. So the cost of electricity shouldn't be any more. You shouldn't use electricity to be a fundraiser or budget, fulfilling the budget at the expense of the taxpayers, because the ones that it affects the most is those that right now struggling to come out of the pandemic. So we created another pandemic, so it tells us we really need to get out and vote, because vote for people that cares about you, black people. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what we have to say. Vote for the folks that cares about you, because we're going to be knocking on your doors. We're going to tell you to get out to vote. That's what we're going to do. Get out and vote. And don't get mad, because we might knock on it 2 or 3 times, but we're going to knock on it during the early voting, so you could get out there real early. Just go ahead and vote. Don't even wait until Christmas, the 27th. Get out and vote. We're going to be out again on the 26th saying vote again.
Yeah.
Black people vote, because that's your right, and don't give it up to nobody. Every vote counts.
And not only vote, get engaged. I know, Ebony, you've got to go drop off because you're doing your virtual shop also. And of course, at 123 King Street, Suite 5, Gullah Tours and Experience. Y'all go down there now. Run down there now, or run to your computer and go shopping.
I'm right around the
Thank
corner.
y'all. Yes. See y'all soon.
I want
right,
to drive the
Ebony.
golf cart.
Come on down. We got you.
All right, everyone. So we've told you FEMA has finally declared Georgetown, Charleston, and Berkeley disaster zones, and disaster areas from Hurricane Ian. And the website's coming up, disasterassistance.gov. If you've had damage, your business or your personal home damage from Hurricane Ian, please go to disasterassistance.gov and complete the application. And also reminding everyone, City of Georgetown special election on December 27th, 2022. And we did the thing this week.
Real quick,
if
Ms.
anybody
Marilyn,
happened to notice. Yeah, go ahead, Deontay, before we get into it.
while we talking about why elections are so important, can you please explain why it took so long for us to be declared a disaster area?
Politics.
Politics.
Politics. Politics. Who can we blame better than the sitting president that he have not signed the documents? And once you do the research, the documents never left the state of South Carolina until recently, when pressure was put on by the Congressional Black Caucus and those. And NAACP.
It really does matter who your elected officials are, and the governor sat on it. So, and then it finally got to the White House, and the president signed it.
Ain't that something? Playing with people's lives, their money. It's a political game to them.
Yeah, and and realize it happened after Election Day. So, playing with lives. It's just, if nothing else, that should get you pissed off and make you go register to vote and go vote, because it really impacts people. It's a real impact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People always ask, why should I vote? How does it affect me? Well, do you know someone that was affected by Hurricane Ian? Do you know someone who could use these benefits right now? Well, guess who sat on it? Your governor.
Yeah.
So it matters who you have in those seats.
And we were pressuring. That's why I have the sweet potatoes. I drove myself to Florence to get the donations of like 20 bushels of sweet potatoes to distribute to people who lost power. And you lost power, they lost food. We've been working to get food to people, get repairs, but it all came to a halt. It just went into a black hole until the disaster was declared. Now it opens up FEMA to come in and provide help more
You
than a
know,
month after the hurricane.
and you know, the interesting thing, Maryland, it is such a food shortage. Not only that, food is so high. So every opportunity to get food on your table, take advantage of it. Don't be shy. You know, our church itself, St. Paul, we got a new pastor just came in, Reverend Havershan, and he issued out 2 trailer loads of sweet potatoes and collard greens before Thanksgiving. They were gone in a snap. I mean, that was a ton of collard greens and sweet potatoes. He went and got this out of his pocket because of what he recognized in the community. There's a shortage of food. We have to quit playing with it and playing with the lives of people. People are hurting out there, you know.
One thing I saw, and I know the work we've been doing regarding affordable housing, and intellectually, I know I am fortunate and blessed to be in the family home. But after Hurricane Ian, and I went to see folks who were calling the Gullah Geechee Chamber of Commerce, because we put the word out, if you need help, let us know. And I physically got in my car and went to take pictures, help people out, to see the condition of the housing that people are living in. It's not just affordable housing, it's quality of the house.
Amen.
And we should be ashamed of ourselves as human beings that people are living in these conditions. And I went different areas of the county, and to see people who are working, who are struggling, it's inflation. But that's this tremendously high inflation is a recent thing in the last year. Low wages, people can't even keep up to save money to replace the roof or fix the window or fix the door.
I think she's frozen for a minute, Deontay. But just looking at what she's talking about and stuff, you know, I noticed this weekend I was talking to my sister. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia, and she was talking about 5.15. They just moved from $5.15 an hour to $7.25 an hour in Georgia. You see what I'm saying? What can you do with $5.15 an hour? What could you do with $7.25 an hour?
Not
So,
a
you know,
whole
that
lot.
battle that we constantly fighting, you know, from county government to school district to every employer, we have to get our people up to at least $16 and 45 cents an hour. That's what the community calls for right now.
17.
That's where we are.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it's shameful to hear someone say, well, we got them to $11, we got them to $13. You know, that's a good effort, and I applaud them for doing that, but we shouldn't have to fight for that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't have to fight for that, because the salaries that the salary of the folks that making the decision, they don't see those smaller folks. They don't
No.
see them. Remember, we was talking to the school district now, the budget person stated that we just never thought about it. You know, so what are you thinking about when you're doing a budget? Who are you thinking about?
Themselves.
That's what we have to deal with, man. It is just shameful what we are dealing with. You know.
So what can we as a people do to assist in that effort?
Oh, you have to vote. First thing, you have to vote. Your first effort is to vote them out. And you have to strategize and vote out people that's not taking care of your needs. You know, food, health, and shelter should be the first thing on the list for anyone that walks into any position to say they're going to serve people. I don't care what position you walk into, but it's food, health, and shelter. I don't care if you're the father or the father or the mother of the home. Food, health, and shelter. Everyone should be eligible for that. Some countries you go to, just go to the doctor because it's already taken out of your check.
Yeah.
In America, this is the only country that do not have a universal health care system.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad. Major country like the United States, but it comes down to politics. It's who they think that they are suffering to control. It's about suffering and control.
Yeah.
When they come to me begging on their knees, then we'll give them something, but they have to commit to something else to keep us in office. That's the old Jim Crow enslavement mentality that we've been dealing with, since before the 1619 Project, what they call critical race theory now. But it's what we are dealing with. Gentrification, all that it's all a major role played into affordable housing.
It comes down to race in many
Right.
ways. There are many white people who love Affordable Care Act but don't like Obamacare. And that's recorded. That's not, so those y'all don't realize it, Affordable Care Act and Obamacare are the same thing. But Obamacare is for the Black folks. Affordable care, and they've been on news, recorded. Yeah. I'm okay with Affordable Care Act, but they got to get rid of that Obamacare. And you see throughout history, I'm on TikTok a lot, and just this week, so a white woman posted and said she had to come to the realization that why we don't have a lot of things, has Marvin just said, a universal health care, a universal income. There are countries that give you guaranteed income every month, so you don't starve. Affordable housing. She said white people don't want Black and brown people to have it, so they'll hurt themselves as long as they know Black and brown people don't have it, and they're hurting too. Don't realize if we don't have universal health care, you're not just hurting Black people and brown people, you're hurting yourself too. But they're willing to hurt themselves to have the satisfaction to know then Black and brown people don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's American history.
That's American
history that they don't want taught. That's the anti-CRT. Don't want that to be revealed, because then people are going to wake up and realize, wait, hold up, that don't make any sense. You hurting me because you don't want Black and brown people to have universal health care. We would have had universal health care if there weren't Black and brown people rising in population, or the fact that we're just here. We always been here. And when we get a little something, you always see the backlash. You see the good farmer after the slavery. All these Blacks went out and farmed their land and were doing well. All the Black townships that were created. It's not just Tulsa, Black Wall Street, Wilmington, Rosewood, dozens across the United Nations. If they saw that we were doing well, they shot us, killed us, burned us out, everything. It's racism. And they hurt them. Racism hurts everybody. It manifests itself in politics. Eddie Gould, I think he was quoting James Baldwin when he said America's original sin was not slavery and it was not the genocide of Native Americans. America's greatest and original sin was white people thinking they were better than everybody else. The consequences of that was genocide of Native Americans, the enslavement of Black people. But the first original sin was white people thinking they were better than everybody else. And we've been dealing with that ever since in this country. It manifests itself in different forms. Lack of universal health care, lack of a strong minimum wage, and so on and so on. But that's it. That's what it is.
Marilyn, just think about the Voting Rights Act and the battle that we have just getting the Voting Rights Act passed, the John Lewis, Voting Rights Act. Now, when the first Voting Rights Act that came out, Republicans were the majority that voted for it. I mean, it was 98%. I think it was 98%. The Congress voted for the Voting Rights Act. Mm-hmm. Now you can't get a consensus to go back to the table. It's shameful. We have folks that sits there, under these camouflages, saying they want things, equal with equity and inclusion, but yet still they're voting the opposite way, and people are just not paying attention. That's why education is so important on what you're voting for and who you're voting.
That's why they're attacking education, and that's why they attack education.
Education, that's the attack, because if that is taught, that wakes up that sleeping giant. That sleeping giant called voting and history. and your strength. All that comes with education. You just go through Plantersville, Sandy Island, you know, McKenzie Beach, in those places. And just think about the history in Georgetown, the West End. You know, all of those history came from, that's our strength. Our history is our strength to our next generation that they're trying to shut down because they say it will affect their white kids, you know, because of their mental state it might put them in. No, the problem they have with it, you can't shut it down anyhow. As long as they have that cell phone in their hand, they're going to figure it out. They want to know why is my daddy, my white mama, don't want me to know about what's going on with these black people and how they got here and how they were treated. They're going to do that because every time someone says something to me about keep me from doing something, I go right to that phone and click on Google. Hey, Google, you know, what about this? What you think those kids are doing?
Yep. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. And so you can't suppress truth. You know, you might every once in a while lay it down a little bit, but it bubbles up. You know, it's like water. Water will always find a way. Water, you know, you're going to get rid of water. Water will always find a way to get to where it wants to get to. That's the same with truth. Truth will always find a way. And yeah, that's what they're afraid of. Educated people. And it's a sleeping giant. But and once we realize that we need to walk in the rooms with our ancestors with us, because look what our ancestors created. I had the opportunity last week with Jackie Williams and Zenobia Harper to host Lene Vinay. She's a social media influencer, 6-figure followers and stuff on TikTok, Facebook, etc. Her and her crew were blown away. They did not expect to see what they saw. They had an understanding, but when they came to Georgetown, we took them to Hasty Point Plantation, Rice Museum. We sat and had conversations with them about the history. They did videos. Follow Lene Vinay. She's going to come out with some fantastic stuff about Georgetown. They want to come back because they were blown away to see what the hands of our ancestors and more importantly, the minds of our ancestors created. We were the engineers. Europeans didn't know how to build trunks to flood and unflood the rice fields. They knew nothing about the tides, how to control the tides or anything. We knew all that. That's why they had to beat us down physically and mentally to bring us over in them ships. The way Georgetown looks, the wetlands were not here. It was subtropical jungles. The cypress trees, they had to cut all that stuff with hands and handmade tools. Took them hundreds of years. On average, 7 years to clear an acre of wetlands, or what we know as wetlands now. And our ancestors did that. And in the meantime, created a whole new culture, the Gullah culture, to survive and communicate with each other. We better walk in the room with our ancestors. That's power. That's power. But one thing that we know, I don't know, I got knocked off the internet, y'all. We need to talk about this affordable housing lawsuit.
Most definitely.
I'll find it, Deontay. One thing I realized for us to deal with affordable housing, and no one's talking about it, and that's not what we're talking about right now. We're working on what we're working on. We're going to tell you folks about that. We will not solve affordable housing in this nation until we have a living wage.
That's a fact.
That's it. I mean, we could sit here and talk all day long, but if we don't raise the minimum wage to a living wage, and at this point, it's like $33 an hour because of the recent uptick in inflation, you will never deal with affordable housing. It's a multi-layered, complex issue, part of which took the Georgetown NAACP filing a lawsuit this past week. Was it this past week or the week before? My days, it's a holiday. I think it was a week.
It was the Wednesday before.
The Wednesday before Thanksgiving. The Wednesday week before.
Yeah.
that we filed a lawsuit against the county of Georgetown because a previous vote that the county council took that denied affordable housing development in Georgetown. And it was not done in good faith. And I'm sure, Marvin, go ahead and share details with us so folks can understand what's going on. And of course, when we need their support, folks, we need y'all to come out in support of this, because this really does impact affordable housing, not just for Black folks that look for us. Yes, we will benefit from it, but for those, the law enforcement, teachers, healthcare workers, it's a race and a class issue. It's going to impact Black and white folks. And we had to stand up and say this was wrong. What happened?
Yeah. And that's so true, Marilyn. And the thing is, the lawsuit was, the press release came out on the 16th of November, which is week before last. It's a racial justice lawsuit, and it's for affordable housing, challenging discriminatory zoning in Georgetown, which they're relating to the Porter's Landing site, which was the hospital site at one time. And what the lawsuit pretty much is saying, and this lawsuit was filed by the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights, Lacey Crawford, South Carolina Appleseed Legal Justice Center, NAACP. I mean, just a ton of organizations here that joined in just to fight this situation, because this is going to be a pretty much a landmark, and we can't lose. We can't lose, because what we are doing, we are exposing people that really vote against what's good for Black people. Because this lawsuit was designed to tell everybody the wrongdoing that went on with zoning in Georgetown here when affordable housing was available on Wedgefield Road out there. And a lot of names was called in this lawsuit. You got 3 county councilmen that's been named in this lawsuit. You know, you got Bob Anderson was named in this lawsuit. You got Everett Carolina was named in this lawsuit. And you have Raymond Newton was named in this lawsuit. And if you think about it now, 2 people that was named in the lawsuits sits in a medium income area, Raymond Newton and Everett Carolina, $30,000 a year or less. Sampit, Plantersville, Georgetown, North Santee, Andrews, in and out Andrews, Big Dam, all those areas, those are medium income areas. But they voted against affordable housing and turned around and vote in favor of other housing in the same condition in other areas of Georgetown. Now, the area that they denied affordable housing is in District 7, which they have nothing to do with. Another county councilman's district, they denied affordable housing there. You see what I'm saying? So the lawsuit was filed, and this is a federal lawsuit. There's nothing to play with. It was filed in the federal court in Charleston. And we will be there. I will be there. You will be there. It says filed by the South Carolina NAACP, the Georgetown County NAACP, and affordable housing developer 46 development includes claims under Federal Fair Housing Act 42 USC 1981, 42 USC 1982, and the Equal Protection Clause under the United States Constitution, which they denied us a right to have affordable housing. That's what they're saying. So, and everyone have access to this lawsuit. You know, if you want to reach out to us, you just dial 790-4075-843-790-4075, or just go to our website. We're going to drop it on there. Everyone needs to know what happened to them. This is 90 units. 90 units. And in the lawsuit, it gave specifics, what was said in meetings on Wedgefield, calling Black people slaves. They did not want to live by slaves. Now you think about that. And you got Black people living on Wedgefield that sat in the meeting fighting against it at the Howard Center. Really remember? One was named Catino or something, and some other folks living out there too. Sit right over there, stand with them, but don't know. Hey, I've never seen any slaves stand with anybody. You know, if they're a slave, that's who they are. We were never slaves. Bottom line, you know, we were enslaved people. We need to get that straight. We were never slaves. God didn't born any slaves. God didn't make any slaves. made human beings, to be treated like human beings. So this lawsuit is going to be a while, and we're going to be digging deep into it. We'll be coming out with a press conference in the next week to 2 weeks here. Once we get most of the information back from the national, we're putting some stuff together right now. So we'll be coming back and talking about this lawsuit, and we're going to keep it up. We're going to advocate for this housing again. We're going to advocate for everything that we can get for Black people and people of color. It was shameful, you know, but they were ready to drop 456 homes right there in Plantersville. But when you start talking cost of homes, everything got quiet in the room.
Yeah.
Gated community. Ain't no gated community affordable to no Black people. Not with the income that we have. Yeah, you sit at $32,000 an hour, you can afford that.
And why do you need to gate a community? That's, first of all, it's a marketing tool, so they can go to these potential home buyers
protecting you from the
and
Black
mark it
people.
up $10,000 or more because you behind a gate. There's no crime problem in Plantersville to have a gate. So why do you need a gated community? So you're already creating even more class division. Two, this county council and city council have no problems voting for luxury homes that local folks can afford, that essential workers can afford. We love essential workers during the pandemic, but we don't love them enough to make sure they have housing to live in their own county. You know, these high dollar housing, they love to pass those. But guess what, folks? They broke some laws and they about to pay a price for it.
Yeah, they broke some laws.
We're going to war for affordable housing for people.
And that's why elections have consequences, Marilyn. And we need to make sure that those folks that voted against this, they paid a price for what they have done. Because they have affected a community of Black people. Because that's where that was the aim was, Black people. And property that they did not own. When you had county councilmen making statements like they don't want to live by those people, you know what I'm saying? What is that supposed to mean? Who's those people? You know, talk with affluent people. Who is affluent people? You know, I have a clear understanding who they're talking about. And we're going to give them a clear understanding of what we are talking about. When it comes down to the law, they will never get by with this. And there's more to come. There's some more situations being dealt with right now as we speak. Very soon. Very soon.
So we need folks to support us when we share the information. Come on out to the press conference. Come out and let county council know that we are serious about bringing affordable housing to Georgetown. We've got to help our neighbors, families, friends who want to live where they work, who just want to live without being pressured under gentrification, who want to keep family land that's been in the family for generations. But you bring in luxury homes, your taxes are going to go up. And if you don't have a living wage, how are you going to afford those taxes that are going to go up? How do you afford to maintain your house? And that's what it comes down to. And we've got to fight this battle from all angles, bringing a lawsuit, fighting for a living wage, getting engaged with city and county government, and voting, folks, voting. We're fighting this battle from all angles. And we had it, yeah.
And you know what, Marilyn?
No, you're not playing with them. That's why we brought the lawsuit.
Yeah, and you know what? I have sat in county council meetings and listened to the sheriff department advocate for affordable for a living wage, advocated for affordable housing for policemen. So in the school district, talk to the human resources department of those advocating for affordable housing, because when they have people that's commuting back and forth into Georgetown, these distance, soon as something comes open where they're moving from, they're gone. So Georgetown becomes a revolving door. From the school district, the police department, the hospital, all of those are major entities for jobs where people could afford affordable housing. But yet still they can't get it in Georgetown and they rather kill those houses in Porter Landing off Wedgefield Road. They rather kill those houses. And like you said earlier, Maryland, they'll damage white folks also that has the same need in order to say no to black folks that they call slaves in their meetings. And you got folks sitting up in the meeting that looks just like me and you, listening to this conversation and coming and standing with them at these county council meetings. It's shameful.
Yeah. Yeah. And they didn't hide it. And when they were called out, they got pissed off. They were called out. The truth was in their face. So
Yeah.
This is an ongoing battle. And this is just one more thing we need to do in this battle. And we need y'all to come out and support us when we have the press conference and when we at county council meetings. We need you to come out and vote December 27th for the City of Georgetown special election, to vote in people who do the work for the people, who are going to do the work for the people. You must be discerning in who you support and what you support. It impacts all of us. And we're out here doing the work, folks, creating jobs, supporting small businesses, encouraging you to get registered to vote and filing lawsuits when appropriate.
Yeah. And Maryland, the crazy thing is we are sitting in a time where people are sitting in our face telling us what they're going to do to us to control us. I mean, and we have to be careful how people come into our communities that's not your elected official that's controlling your community. I watch city councilmen go into county council meeting addressing county council on situations in the county council that's over that district don't even know anything about it. Mm-hmm. So we have to be careful who we follow in here, because you become a political pawn for those folks that's pimping your community. Black people, quit being pimped. Even by your own, quit being pimped for dollars and all this other stuff. Vote for what's going to take care of you, because it's foolish behavior that we are suffering from. Stick with your elected officials, hold them accountable. If they're not doing what you need them to do, vote them out. Don't bring no other elected officials in there, same level of government, floating across your community, making you these false promises, because they can't push nothing through. You got to go back to your elected officials. Go to your elected officials that you put in the seat and hold them accountable. Because you can't blame them if you drag somebody else in there and they say, no, because I don't know nothing about it. Bottom line, because that's what's going on right now. I see it on the West End. People are just trying to pimp the Black community. They don't come into Plantersville and the rural areas like that. But they have some feelings about coming into the inner city and tell people what they want to hear, and people just run out and run behind them. They're not gaining nothing. It's a setback. It's a setback.
Well, folks, we are wrapping up here. Deontay, I know you got to hop off. I got to hop off too. We've talked about a lot today. Any final words, Deontay?
You know me, as I always say, I love you all. Continue to love yourselves, and don't feel bad to prioritize yourselves. So many times, especially us who like to serve others. Everybody on this call, I know we like to do everything for everyone in the community, everyone in our families, to take care of everyone else. But we got to take time to take care of ourselves too. And I'm guilty of that, so I got to do better myself.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Deontay. I know you got to hop off. I got to hop off too. Marvin, any final words before we go?
Hey, make sure that you, like Deontay said, prioritize yourself and make sure that your spending, control your spending. Know what your needs are, especially in these holiday seasons. You know, because we have the tendency to go out and get all these things that serves no purpose, that lasts a day. Then here you are trying to pay light bills and rent and everything else. Prioritize your business, especially your household business. Know what your priority is, what you have to look for the next day. Don't spend for a day. Now you need to look down the road what's happening with you for a lifetime. So prioritize your spending. Make sure you buy food, pay for your health, pay your rent, pay your electricity, your utilities. and get your children educated. That's your priority. All the other stuff is irrelevant. Don't chase all them toys and stuff out there, because they'll be sitting in the ditch and stuff the next day.
Yep.
I pick them up all the time.
Yeah. Education is a lifelong endeavor also, folks. Even if you have a degree, you can always keep yourself educated. That's what my mama taught me. Always take workshops, seminars, whatever you can take, Meryl. Always continue learning. And that's why we come every Saturday on Spotlight to give you a little bit of information about social justice, civil rights, and community happenings. A little bit of education playing our part. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. I appreciate you. We love our audience. We're coming closer to the end of the year. So we'll start wrapping up some things for 2022. We got a lot accomplished this year. And as we come each Saturday, we'll just talk about a little bit of what we've done and what we continue to do. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you, Deontay. Thank you, Marvin.
See y'all
Thank you,
later.
Marilyn.
All right, we're out. And everyone, just want to remind you, come back next Saturday at 11 a.m. for Spotlight, brought to you by the Georgetown County Branch number 5520. Have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.